You want to say it?
She stalked me.
I did not stalk you. A little bit. Hi and welcome to our channel. So the long-awaited video is finally up. You guys asked us a couple of questions on one of our vlogs, and so today we are going to answer your questions. So sorry if we can't answer all of them, but there were a lot of questions and some of them we may go a little bit in depth with, so we don't want this to be a super long video, but we hope you guys enjoy, and let's get started, shall we? If you hear our baby crying throughout this video, sorry. Both of us sitting down at the same time, it's kind of difficult with a 2-month-old. So anyway, so this one is from New Shavu. Are you French? New Shavu. How do you solve your arguments? Do you guys go to bed angry at each other? How do you plan on disciplining your children? So how do you solve your arguments? You know how they say opposites attract? I agree.
Sort of.
No, I agree. You know why? Because if we were the same exact way, this relationship I don't think would have worked out. So Dominic, when we get into arguments, he likes his space.
She feels her way, I feel my way. It's more so just coming to an understanding, I think, if you'd agree with me. Because most of the times we argue, and unless it's like really something where I'm wrong or really something where you're wrong, it's kind of like we're just gonna agree to disagree, I think.
Sometimes when we argue, you actually want to talk about it. Like, you'll like talk about it with me, but if he's uber annoyed and mad at me, he doesn't want to talk about it at that moment.
It depends. It's a little hard to answer that question because arguments can be a lot of things. It depends on the category. It's, you know, stating our sides, and then we just space out, and then we come back,
and then we come together. So okay, that is the we come together. We space out in the beginning, and then we come together and we resolve our argument and we talk about it, because I'm a talker and he knows I need to talk about it or I won't get over it. So anyway, do you guys go to bed angry at each other?
No, I would say no.
No. That was actually one of my vows. If you guys saw our wedding ceremony video, I vowed to never go to bed angry. So we try to talk things out before the next morning. And then the other question is, how do you plan on disciplining your children?
Like Hispanics. No?
Okay, so here's what we talked about. I don't know if you remember. Let's say if Samara wants something and I feel one way and he feels another way, we're not going to disagree in front of Samara. So if mommy says something, that's just what it is, and then we can talk about it afterwards. If daddy said something, that's just what it is, and then we'll talk about it afterwards.
Unless it's getting ice cream.
So
I guess it's more specifically when they're older. More so when they do something wrong. Obviously you punish them, but I think there should be a time where you communicate with them. Kind of treat them as adults, because you're always going to get to that stage where your child is going to be thinking that they're an adult or they should be treated like an adult. So I think at some point you should build that communication where you're like, okay, this is what happened, this is why I'm mad, this is why you shouldn't do it again, and just build that relationship where, you know, they know you're mad and they did something wrong, but you still love them and you just want them to understand what they did.
Okay, I can agree with that, Daddy Dunston. Okay, next question from Cassette Galloway, and if I massacre your name, I am so sorry. It says, can you tell a story of how you guys met together? I would love to know. We actually got this question a couple of times, so here you guys go. This is the story. You want to say it?
She stalked me.
I did not stalk you. A little bit, but it wasn't a full-on stalk.
You hear the story and you decide.
It wasn't a full-on stalk. So basically, I saw him. He used to work in this retail store called Le Chateau.
Shout out to Canada.
So if you live in Canada, you know what store that is. So he used to work in that retail store, and I've seen him there, and I just thought he was super attractive. Like, I just thought you were so hot, babe.
Thanks, Le Chateau.
I thought you were so hot, babe. Like, I'm trying to think of one other time. Well, I know I saw him in Le Chateau. So anyway, I used to work in this women retail store, and one day he walked in. And I'm telling you, I was at the register because I was a cashier, and I saw him walk in, and my eyes literally were like this big.
Now there's a reason why I was in a women's store, okay? Let's not, hey Dom, what are you doing at a women's store?
Okay, so
no.
that of, you know, got me thinking, like, what if he probably has a girlfriend? If he doesn't have a girl, he could be shopping for his mother, you know. So anyway, he went straight to the back to our shoe department. He got some rain boots, and I rang him up, and I could not stop staring at you. I was trying to play it cool, but I didn't even notice to me. First of all, I looked a hot mess that day. Let me tell you guys, a hot mess. He really paid no mind to me. Cause you think cause I looked a hot mess or just?
I'm not sure. That I can't specifically be like, oh, this is the girl that rang me up. Like, I think I remember seeing you, but I was just like, good.
Well, this is where it gets the stalker-ish story gets. So he paid with his credit card, and I looked at the name on his credit card.
And she stalked him.
I did not stalk him. I just happened to remember his name.
Oh.
Okay, and then one day on Facebook, love you Facebook, he was tagged in a picture.
April 12th at the time.
It was an album where our mutual friends were tagged, so I was able to see the picture, and he was tagged in the picture. And when I saw his name, I was like, oh, Dominick! So I sent him a friend request, and then I saw he had a girlfriend. He was in a relationship for like, what, were you 2 years you were with her?
Well, April 12th, let me see. 5 years ago, that would be 2010, and then it was about a year or two. I can't remember. It's all a blur.
Anyway, so he was with her. He was in a long-term relationship, so I left it alone because I'm just not that kind of girl. You can.
Yeah, we didn't.
Yeah, I didn't do anything. Like, we just stayed friends. Like, we didn't talk to each other. We stayed friends for,
you know, if you see somebody you accept, and then you just read.
Yeah, we like just stayed friends, and then one day it said Dominick went from into a relationship to single, and there was my chance, you guys. I took that opportunity and I souped right into the messages, and I sent him a message. And what was your message? What was the message?
Oh, hey, I think I know your mom. Of course, because my mom is a frequent shopper at the store she used to work at. So, of course, it's icebreaker because everybody happens to know my mom.
So, I just happened to know his mom coincidentally. And then it's all history from there. Then we talked all night. We talked all morning. We literally did not stop talking. And then our relationship just grew from there. And now we are married with a child. Thank you, Facebook. No, just it's not really Facebook. God just works in mysterious ways, and like he said, it happened on April 12th, and we got married on April 12th. And we didn't even pick that date because of it. We just happened to be a coincidence.
Happy belated anniversary. Thank you from Jackie Jackinson, or Jackie Jackinson. Jackie Jackson.
That's like a tongue twister.
Yeah,
Jackie Jackson.
An N somewhere. My question is, do you guys plan on having another baby or babies? The answer is yes. Personally, I want at least 3. 3 is like the number I have in mind. Now, the way we won't get to 3 is if the next one is a boy. If it's a boy, then I think we're good with 2. That I can live with. However, if it is a girl, there will be a number 3. And that if that one's a girl, there will be number 4. And
yeah, he's gonna have the number 4. Yeah, he'll have the number 4. The question is, I mean, the answer is yes. We are going to have more kids. When that will be, maybe in
a year or two. Not too far.
Maybe in a year or 2. If it's a boy, I may stop there because I'm traumatized from this labor and delivery. It wasn't that bad because you pushed, right?
Can you even remember?
I remember. I still remember the pain. But yeah. So like I said, yeah. If we're not, well then we'll have a 3rd one, and I'm stopping at 3. That's
maybe.
No, guys, I am stopping at 3. We'll agree to disagree, okay?
This is our argument right here.
Yeah, we'll agree to disagree. Ah, where did it go? So
this is from Trisha. I'm gonna say Gonzalez. And her she has 6 questions, okay? Let's see here. First question, what did your parents teach you that you appreciate now? For me, it is the aspect of hard work and never giving up. I think more so from my mother. She was, I wouldn't say a single parent. My dad was around, but not as ideal as a father should. So my mom pretty much raised me and my 2 other siblings on her own, you know, going to work and juggling a whole bunch of stuff. So I just saw how hard she worked as an individual to give us everything we need. There was never a Christmas where we didn't have a gift. There was never a birthday we didn't have a gift or a celebration. So I just think that aspect of, if you want it, you have to go get it. And she definitely showed me how to work hard. What about your parents?
I forgot the question already. You know, I have short-term memory. Oh, what did your parents teach you that you appreciate now? What my parents taught me was to love and love hard. My parents have been together for as old as I am. I'm 28. Yeah, I'm 28. I'm 28 years old, gonna be 29, and they've been together even before, you know, I was born. So they've been together for a long time. And my parents love each other so hard, you guys. And you know, when I saw their relationship, it taught me to know what I deserved and what I should have in the future, which I have.
How many different ways do you demonstrate love for each other? List? No list, but here's a couple ways. We love very differently. I would say the way I show love is completely different. Like I said, we're opposites. So the way I show love is more joking, more action oriented. I'm not a very verbal person. I am at times. Most of the times I'm not. I mean, I can say I love you a million times, but I personally feel showing in regards to action, in my opinion, no argument started. In my opinion, it's just a good way to show, like, even when I'm mad at her, I'll order her food, make sure we eat, little things like that. I think, you know, shows that, you know, I love her. I'm here. It was my decision, and I love her.
So like you said, we're very different. But when you do show it verbally, like for example our anniversary, like, or like these posts are like deep, you guys, they're like deep. But I'm more of a like telling him I love you every day. Like
yes.
Yeah, like I tell him I love you all the time. I tell him that he's so gorgeous and that he looks amazing. Although she does as well. Not to say that she doesn't act out her love. I do as well. But she's definitely I'm more verbal. I tell him that I love him constantly. I always like to remind him that I do. I know he knows, but it's good when you tell a person, hey, I love you. I just want you to know, or you're so amazing. You're the most amazing husband. And so, yeah. Anyway, so the third one is, what are your hopes and dreams for Samara? My hope for her is that she is happy. I spoke about this with her father. I don't know, one day I was just looking at her and I was like, I wish I could stop somebody from hurting her. I think that's what I said. Like, I wish I can stop her from feeling pain in the future, and I know I can. Somebody one day is going to hurt her, and I can't stop that, and I wish I could, you know, because I know what being hurt feels like, and it's not fun, you guys, you know. But I want her to be happy to the best of her ability. Whatever she chooses to do in life, I hope it makes her happy.
Yeah, so my hopes and dreams for Sam, obviously I hope she becomes a very successful individual and intelligent one as well. I think as a parent, you always want your kids to have things better than you had it. I think, you know, I've provided a better platform than my mother has provided for me, and thus I hope that she can continue that wave. But most importantly, I definitely hope she has a Christ-like mentality. I think, especially in this world nowadays, you know, troubling times and situations really, you know, really affect you and make you cry at times.
You hear her?
And though I make my mistakes and though I go through my troubles, there is a God who has his best intentions for me. And that no matter what I'm going through now, in the end, when it's all said and done, he has my best outlook. You can continue to talk. I'll be back. She's gonna go do that.
You can continue with the question.
Now it's my show. Okay, guys. Let's see. Question 5. What did you want to be when you grew up? Interesting question. So, me personally, as a kid, I was always very techie and I loved playing video games. So actually, as a kid, I wanted to be a computer engineer. I was always into that, gizmos and gadgets. So growing up, I actually came close. I mean, when I went to school, I wanted to go to school for computer engineering, which I ended up doing when I first got to school. But then all that programming and all those weird classes, I didn't have the patience for. So I actually became a mechanical engineer, in which, you know, I ended up working in civil engineering and all that stuff. And now I actually work in IT, which has more to, I think more of the idea I had when I was a little kid in regards to not necessarily building a program or building computers from scratch, more so the troubleshooting aspect.
What would you like to do together in the future? Just you and Dom, and something as a family.
Something in the future. I think a nice getaway. I think getaways are kind of very
You just got me excited to say getaway.
Out of our sight at the moment. So I think at a point in time where Samara is old enough to kind of be aware that mommy and dad need to go away for a little bit. We definitely want to miss a lot of things like her first word or her walking for the first time. So I think somewhere after that stage, which unfortunately is going to be a little while, you know, we'll get on a little nice getaway, a long getaway. And then something as a family, I think, you know, Disney World's always like one of those American dream type vacations.
I never went to Disney World. Something as a family, I think, babe. Like my parents, they never took us on like family vacations. You know how some families go on family vacations every year? I want to do that with Samara. Like when we never went on vacation. Yeah, but we never went on vacation together. We never got that experience. So I would love to, even if it's like in another state. It doesn't have to be out of the country, but
cool.
I would love to go on vacation as a family.
And
so
do dangerous stuff as family, like bungee jumping.
Yeah.
And stuff.
Then the fifth question was, what did you want to be when you grew up? That's what you answered?
I answered that already.
Okay, what did I want to be? Well, so funny. I wanted to be so many things. First of all, I wanted to be a veterinarian, and then I'm afraid of cats, so that wasn't going to work out. Then I wanted to be an archaeologist. Back in the day, I love history, right? So I wanted to be an archaeologist, and yeah, so that didn't work out. So then I wanted to be I wanted to be a lot of things, you guys. I know he told you what he wanted to be, and he is, or
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So then I wanted to be a counselor, a school counselor. And final question for us both. List 2 things that you both love and admire about each other. So let's start with that one.
Start with that.
2 things that we love and admire about each other. I love how attentive he is. So he remembers very important things about my life, or just when it comes to special occasions that I just mentioned something, he will remember it, and then it doesn't matter if it's a year down the line, he will go out of his way to get me what I want, or to just be creative. So that's one thing. Second thing is how hardworking he is. I mean, this guy is really so hardworking. He is like jack of all trades, right? That's the term. He's like jack of all trades. And okay, there was this one time, and why I say I love and admire that about him, because he doesn't care what he has to do in order to make money, or in order to
provide.
Yeah, in order to provide so that we are financially stable. For example, one time he lost his job, and this was before we got married, and my dad, you know, does this tough job. Like he wakes up like at 2 in the morning. I mean, it has to do with lifting boxes, and this guy didn't care that he had a bachelor's degree. He did what he had to do, and he started working with my dad, getting up at 2 in the morning because he lost his job, unfortunately. So he's very hardworking. So those are the 2 things that I love about you.
Oh, thanks. 2 things I love and admire about my wife. I love her patience. I think, again, the whole opposite thing. I'm very, I wouldn't say impatient, but I'm very impulsive. So I think, again, that aspect balances us. Sometimes, you know, I'll do something stupid, and then she'll have the patience to realize I did something stupid, and it usually helps avoid very say conflicting situations where things could, you know, really be this big, and then it's not, because, you know, she understands where I'm coming from. So I think that patience, again, not only in our arguments but overall situations, helps, you know, keep me in check, is the best way to put it. I've always called her a great manager. She's been able to manage me very well. I guess that would be number 2. You know, that's all, I've always said that about her. If there's one thing she can do, is manage me. And it sounds kind of weird and occupational, but I think that's important in a lot of relationships, because you need to realize the person you're with. I mean, obviously everything's not perfect. Everything's not going to be, what's that term? Some sunshine and roses, or roses and sunshine?
And daisies. Rainbows.
Rainbows and daisies, flowers and sunshine.
Oh, okay.
So whatever flower assortment you like, you put that there. So it's not always going to be that way. And I think, you know, helping each other manage your emotions in the situation, I like about her. I'm not more of a manager. I'm more of a very strict, hard-nosed kind of guy. But she manages me very well.
Oh, thank you. Thanks, babe. 2 things that you dislike about each other.
Uh-oh. Should I leave the room?
No, go ahead. Oh, please. You can go
2
first
things.
on this one.
Okay. Thing number 1. Sometimes she can be really lazy. And not lazy in the fact that she doesn't do anything. But we'll use this as an example. Her YouTube channel. I don't know, do you have any of your old stuff on there?
No, I put it private.
So before this became this, she was, you know, trying to do the whole vlogging thing, and, you know, she would do a video here or do a video there, and really wasn't consistent on it, but then would kind of like, you know, say, oh, I want to do this. And if there's one thing that kind of irks me is when somebody says wants something and then they don't really want to do something to do or get what they want. However you want to phrase that. So she was one of them, and that irks me. So, you know, I used to ask, actually, you know, where's the videos, you know, how come you're not recording? And, you know, when she's lazy, I kind of like, you know, poke her, and she gets mad because I poke her, but that's just kind of am I like to show support. Again, one of my ways I show love, I just want to kind of motivate you. Sometimes it's not always the best form of motivation, but, you know, I like to light a fire, so to speak, and get her going, and that can sometimes cause conflict, but I guess that's minimal.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but it keeps going. It says, no, that you dislike about each other, but is content with. For the dislike part of the question, I'm asking something that really hits each other's nerves. So yeah, that really hits your nerves.
That really hits my nerves. So, that's not even. And then secondly,
you guys are trying to get us into a fight, huh? I mean, something that really hits your nerves.
I hate the way she washes dishes. Gosh, and that's not even like, oh, I said something that hits my nerves. You don't even understand. I hate dishes that are kind of like half washed, half not. To me, like, the dish needs to be like, you need to be able to surf on it and like throw a frisbee and it'll just bounce off, like. And she doesn't do that sometimes, and then sometimes I'll go grab a dish and I'll realize it's not as clean as I want it to be, and then I end up washing it again, and that just defeats the purpose of washing dishes. You have to wash them twice. But that really irks me too. It's not as big as an argument or anything, but I hate when you do that. I
know you hate when I do that, cause anyway, so one thing that bothers me, he thinks he's always right. Always. And this is, I mean, I've said this before. He thinks he's never wrong, ever. I mean, I can count the times that he has said he's wrong, and that's because it was like obvious. Like he just can't admit when he's wrong. I'm sorry. He just can't. I don't know what it is, but he can't. He'll know it, and maybe later on we can talk about it and be like, you know, like, yeah, I understand, but at that point he will not admit that he's wrong. This guy, man, this guy, he always thinks. Anyway, the second thing that annoys me about